So I got V-Rally 4 on the Xbox One because it was free with Games with Gold this month, so I figured, well, I've already played it on Nintendo Switch about a year ago. I actually think it was probably a bit less than that, but it also wasn't half a year ago, so it's in that weird period between half a year and a year. But anyway, I played the Switch version and I thought it was actually pretty decent. So I thought I'd give it a go on Xbox, given, I'll be able to own it for as long as I have Xbox Live Gold. And yeah, it feels different, well, not that much different really, to the Switch version. The Switch Joy-Con sticks have shorter travel than an Xbox One controller, and I only played the game on the Switch portably, so I couldn't really give you an opinion on what it's like docked, but this feels okay. I had to do some tweaking to get the handling to feel just right, because the game feels a bit too floaty in its current state, and the camera just feels a bit off, so I adjusted the camera a bit, and the camera's a little bit better, and the handling's a little bit better. But with a little bit of adjustment, with a little bit of an adjustment period, you'll get used to it. And it's a pretty decent arcade racer. Semi-arcade, I don't know, I mean, the cars try to act a bit real, but they kind of fail. And interestingly enough, driving in manual is doable, unlike Need for Speed, The Crew, or what's the other rally game I play? Gravel, that's the other one. Like those aren't really great or advisable to be played with manual transmissions, because they either have, in my case at least, unusable control schemes because you need to use the bumpers, and I'm missing an index finger, so I can't play with a manual gearbox in Need for Speed and The Crew 2. Or it's just weird, which again is the case in Payback and in well, the Gravel. But this is fine. I guess in a way that this is kind of like a half step to what WRC 8 is, because WRC 8 was actually pretty good. I've also got the Nintendo Switch version of that, and I do plan on getting the Xbox version of that eventually, along with that European truck racing game. Because I do like those weird races that go on to lesser known championships. Well, I mean, Rally isn't necessarily an obscure racing series. I mean, there's not many makes in it, but that's the same with Supercars, and Supercars has notoriety, it's Supercars, Australian Supercars Championship. But I mean, yeah, that's really it. I plan on getting them eventually, but here's this for now. This is the next best thing. But I mean, the track variety and the car variety is weird, but pretty interesting. It's not boring. Like, the tracks are wacky as hell. I mean, you can go to Niger, you can go to Kenya, you can go to Japan, you can go to Russia. You can't go to New Zealand or Australia, which Dirt Rally 2 have, and they're pretty great tracks. But you can go to a lot more unique areas that are rarely covered in other racing games. Like, again, like those African countries I just said. It's really interesting, actually, just because it doesn't feel like you're there, but, it's the thought that counts. So, yeah, this is Rallycross. You'll be seeing a rally race straight up in Malaysia, which is another country you don't see many racetracks from. I guess other than Sepang, the Sepang circuit that Formula 1 had for a couple of years, or for nearly 2 decades, actually. But that's sadly gone from the calendar. So here it is, the rally race in the Renault Alpine A110. I love this car. I love the new version of it as well. But the new version of it is, I mean, if I had the money to get one, I'd get an Alfa Romeo 4C or a Porsche Cayman. I know I'm that kind of guy, but I mean, the Alfa would be lighter, the Porsche would be more powerful, and Renault isn't necessarily, then again, nor is Alfa Romeo. Anyway, whatever. So you get to see a bit more of the graphical prowess of this game, if it really has some. This game kind of looks a bit low budget, mid budget kind of. You can tell that I'm much more comfortable at this point. This was actually my second run through this, actually, because I quit it and then changed some settings and then went back into it because I wanted to see just how much better it was with these tweaked settings. And considering I didn't crash, I nearly spun out once or twice in this whole run, but considering I didn't crash, I consider that a win. I got the settings just right. And yeah, as I said before, they're a bit floaty, but once you adjust the settings to your liking, it's actually pretty decent. Again, that's that case in point there. I nearly spun out there, but and then there's just low corner turns which just don't seem to react well to the car. It's either you shoot out of them, or you're just going to take forever to get into second gear and then get out. But anyway, I love how these mid-budget games have like an excessive amount of bloom near lights, like near light sources, like the trees, for example. I think that's just that you're in for a game that doesn't have the budget behind it, but has some heart in a weird way. They look at the visuals; they're so shiny and pretty. Let's say special, but shiny and pretty would be better. because there's nothing terribly special about the visual quality of this game, unfortunately. But I mean, another case in point is basically, except for Sniper Elite 4, the entire Sniper Elite series. But then again, I haven't seen Sniper Elite 1, so I don't know what that would be like, but I mean, whatever. So yeah, this is also a 20 gig download on the Xbox One, so if you do plan on downloading it, make sure you have enough space. Considering there are some games that, well, quite a few games at this point actually, that push 100, that shouldn't be an issue. And given Xbox Series X coming out eventually, well, later this year, apparently they will. I don't think there'll be many games for it at launch, given, you know, a certain small pandemic going on right now. It'll be interesting to see how big games balloon in size. But this is on the smaller side for an Xbox One game, which is nice. I think the Switch version is about half this, though. But this game doesn't look nearly as good on the Nintendo Switch as it does on here. There's a lot of visual pairbacks on the Switch version to make it run. To its credit, though, the Switch version does run quite well. I'll say that. From my memory, at least. And I do have video recorded of it somewhere. I was going to do a video on the Switch version of the game. But I thought there was a slight discrepancy between the handheld and docked version of the game, so I just decided I just wouldn't do it. But the videos are still there, and if I feel like it, I might end up doing it. I don't know. I don't see the point in doing it, considering I'm doing this on Xbox One right now. But yeah, so this is a flawless run. So, look, I don't know, if you're looking for, you know, something like Dirt, even Dirt 4, you're not going to get that here. This is more arcadey than Dirt 4 is. And Dirt 4 in its arcade mode can be pretty arcadey, but it does feel believable enough. And not to mention, you know, the handling feels spot on in Dirt 4. It's better in Dirt Rally 2.0 in my opinion, but the arcade and sim are pretty spot on in Dirt 4 anyway. Which makes me wonder, why did Dirt 4 come out? That's a weird analogy. Why did they just not do Dirt Rally 2.0? I don't know. Games are weird. Codemasters, games are weird. I was gonna say Codemasters are weird, but just games are weird in general. So you're not going to get, you know, semi-sim. You're pretty much purely going to get arcade with a sense of just cars like to slide. That's fine. Rally cars slide. You're not on stable tarmac. You're not on stable surfaces by any stretch of the imagination. So the game doesn't pretend that you are. Yeah. I don't know. If you have games with gold, just give it a shot. You probably get a few achievements here and there. And if you like boosting your gamer score like I do occasionally when I'm in the mood for it, you could be doing worse. So yeah, that's V-Rally 4 on the Xbox One. Hope you got to this point in the video. If you did, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Or if you like what I do, subscribe, do whatever. I don't care. As long as you don't dislike it. I hate that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I shall see you in the next video. See you later.